Let's shift focus now to some breaking news that's coming in, and this is the meeting of the Law Commission that has just about concluded. Sources are telling your channel that the final document would require some further meetings as far as One Nation, One Poll is concerned. We're given to understand that certain constitutional amendments are also required as far as a flexible One Nation, One Poll exercise is concerned. So that report is something that has been not submitted yet. Sources say that consensus on a final document is going to take some more time, some more meetings. That's what we're gathering from our sources. Aranya, my colleague, is now joining us, getting us more details on that as well. Aranya, two very big issues that were the subject of discussion during this meeting. One was One Nation, One Poll. The other was on reducing of the age of consent from 18 to 16. What have been the decisions that have been taken in this meeting?
Well, definitely, this was a meeting that was to finalize the reports basically on three major issues. One was One Nation, One Poll issue. Second was with regards to the reduction of age from 18 to 16 of consent under the POCSO Act. And the third one was the online filing of FIRs. Now, with regards to the major two subject, that is ONOP and in fact the age of consent, with regards to the One Nation, One Poll strategy, there are certain concrete things that need to be done more. There are certain constitutional amendments that are to be discussed in order to bring in a more flexible and concrete One Nation, One Poll mechanism, and for that certain constitutional amendments are to be made, and that are being discussed as to how would they be made, or whether or not it would be done by in fact the recommendation of the Law Commission, or the government will have to take a call on that, is something that is being discussed in this meeting. The final concreting of that particular documenting of that particular report is also taking place. Indexing and proper formatting is also taking place, and certain additions, subtractions are to take place. So we might see another meeting taking place in the next 10 to 15 days is what we have been told by our sources. Now, with regards to the age of consent, we have been told that a report has been finalized and would be coming in by the end of the day today. So we expect that either today or in a day or two we might see a report coming in from the Law Commission of India, though the contents of the same has not been shared with us yet. But what our sources had earlier indicated us was that the Law Commission is not in favor of reducing the age of consent from 18 to 16, and very categorically they would be carving out some exception in certain cases. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what the final contents of that report are, what is the finalized version of the Law Commission of India when it comes to reduction of age from 18 to 16, because remember the sources are also told us that with regards to certain Supreme Court decision, the Supreme Court had in various judgments held that the age of 18 is something that is very important. The age of consent is something that is should remain sacrosanct, at least under the POCSO Act, because it is a special statute which protects the children from offences like sexual assault and they being lured into sexual relationships without their consent, without even understanding the meaning of consent. And that's the reason why in fact the Law Commission also believes that the age of 18 is something that is psychologically something that is right and should remain. But what would be the contents of it, whether or not there would be certain exceptions carved out, is something we'll have to wait and watch for. But these are the details that we could gather from our sources. These are the first details we could access, and this is seen in News 18, which had been bringing its viewers up to par with all these developments taking place first. So very clearly now the One Nation, One Poll meetings would continue, and at this point of time concreting of that particular document, that particular report is actually taking place at this point of time, and meetings would be carried on in the next 10 to 15 days as well. Poonam.
Sure, we're expecting, Ananya, that the report on the age of consent would perhaps come out today. Now, the Law Commission isn't in the favor of reducing this age from 18 to 16, like you were pointing out. But in fact, it was the Chief Justice of India that had actually prodded or actually hinted that perhaps the Parliament should bring in a law or make changes to the law so that the age of consent is reduced to 16 under the POCSO Act, isn't it? This comment came to the fore during a hearing that the Chief Justice was doing back in 2022 last year.
Well, definitely there were comments from the Chief Justice of India, but on the whole we'll have to wait and watch for that particular report when it comes to this is a very sensitive topic when it comes to the age of consent. So we'll have to wait for the final contents of the report to come in, and as to why the Commission, what the Commission in fact actually feels at this point of time, because the final report is something that would give a clear picture as to what the Law Commission of India is thinking, because all of this which we are gathering at this point of time is from our sources. There might be certain changes, additions, addition, subtraction that might take place. But at this point of time, a final report is expected in this particular issue. So we'll have to wait and watch for that. But then with regards to One Nation, One Poll, some more meetings would be required by, in fact, the Law Commission of India to finalize its stand in this particular case.
Right, do keep a track of that. And of course, the age of consent report, which is likely to come out today. But for the moment, Ananya, thank you so much. On that note, it's time for a quick break here on this edition. Back in just a few minutes. Do stay tuned.